It's great to be here. I feel good. Yeah. Staat u erbij? Yeah. See? Okay, yeah, see. Yeah, this is not artificial, this is real. I like contact, yeah. No, I really like Portugal, and I go to a lot of these events, Singularity events, and I must say, so far, expectations were like this. Realizations have gone through the roof. I mean, this is the friendliest audience I've ever seen. And I think the local crew did a great job with the production of the event. So why not give them a big round of applause? Yes. Nice. So, the future of healthcare is a very Singularity kind of topic, because at Singularity University we are big nerds who like to discuss all these exponentially growing technologies, right? So these are technologies that at one point you think, well, that is growing very fast, and then whew, before you know it, it hits the knee of the curve and it's a game changer. Well, at Singularity University we have identified 12 domains where you see this exponential curve happening. So this is the price performance of these technologies, and almost every one of those technologies is impacting healthcare. So there was already a lot of talk about AI, and I like to talk a little bit about the technology that's on the top left. I would like to talk about genomics. I'd like to talk about digital DNA. And I have to say, are there some people here in the audience who have already digitized their DNA? Why do I always feel so alone at this point in the presentation? We have one person in the room. That's worth a high five, don't you think? Yes! Woohoo! When did you do it? In what year? A couple of years ago. Okay. What year? 2016. Okay. Good choice. Did you do it with this company? 23andMe. Okay. Some people are confused now. He mentioned DNA and digital. Yes, let me say, did you know that in every cell of your body there is a little USB stick? Did you know that? Every cell contains a little USB stick, an information technology. It's 8 gigabytes of information. And these are not ones and zeros. They're like 4 letters, ACGT. So ACGT in a random order. If you print it out, tada, you get Jim. If you hit F5 refresh, tada, you get Pablo. Was it? Or Paulo? Yes, exactly. So in your body, it's DNA. It tells the cells how to grow. It tells the organs how to grow. And the people say, well, you cannot digitize it. Well, you can, and that starts with registering at a service. In this case, I did it with 23andMe. You may have read about them in the news. And when you register at the website, they send you a little package, a little box, and in that box is a little test tube. So what you do is you put in a little spit, a little sample, and then you mail it back to this company. Not by email, by real postal mail. Yes, a package in a little envelope. And of course, the package gets delivered there in the United States, and 23andMe has a technology, it's called a DNA sequencer, to take this little sample of Jim or Paulo and then put it in the scanner, and then it will create a large text file, ACGT, etc. Think of it like a reverse 3D printer. Usually you have a digital file, you put it in a printer and it prints out something. This is the reversed order. Well, to do such a thing, to sequence a human genome, some time ago, as you can see, around 2000, 2001, that would have cost you $100 million. Now, of course, Paulo and myself, we have that money. No. It costed $100 million, and it took 3 years. 3 years to sequence one human genome. But as you can see, this is exponentials at work. This is Moore's law, so this is the price performance of ordinary computing. It's doubling in price performance every 18 months. And here you see a new technology. It's the Illumina genome sequencer. It's getting faster and cheaper. And around 2011, when I did it, it costed around $6,000. But as you can see, you did it around 2014. What did you? Less than 200. Yeah, that's true. So from $100 million in 2001 to less than $200 in 2017. So this is talk about price performance. Okay, so but what is it and why did you do it? Well, it turns out that, of course, 23andMe is a very interesting company, and some folks say that 23andMe will be the new Google. Wait a minute, did he say Google? Yeah, the new Google. Think of it, Google built an entire empire around a single database, a text file, all the web internet addresses and some metadata, a text file, a very large text file, and an algorithm. The algorithm is called PageRank. This is the reason when you type in something, boom, within a millisecond, they give you back the result that you think that you need, right? This is they built an entire empire around a single database and an algorithm. 23andMe also has a database. It contains more than 3 million samples, text files of people, including 2 of those are in this room right now. And they are working on algorithms to actually make use of this data. So it gets more and more intimate. As was promised, the title of my talk is Radical Transparency. I want to give something to the panel. What would you like to know? And when would you like to know it? That is the basic question, I think, of the future of healthcare. But it doesn't start this intimate. It starts with a very simple question. I don't think you can read it, so let me say that this is the first email that I got from them. They sent you a survey, and they said, Jim, we want to check some things. Is it true? So we looked at your DNA. Is it true that you can move your eyebrows independently from each other? I had the same reaction as you guys. I was like, geez, I paid $6,000, and now they're talking about my eyebrows. But I was sitting behind the screen. I was going like, wait a minute. Yes. I can do that. Could you try it? Stephen, can you do it? Well, okay. It turns out this is very rare. I thought everyone could do it. But it is something that is in my genes, obviously. So it's okay, that's interesting, 50-50 chance, let's continue. And then they say, Jim, we looked at your DNA, and we think that your ancestors, your forefathers, are 35.6% from France and Germany. And I was like, yeah, with a last name like Stolze, way to go. You pay $6,000 and then you tell you something that you already know. But then I clicked on the link and then they give you more data. And they say, and we also found a big influx, 24%, of Scandinavian genes. Wait a minute, that cannot be true, that's wrong. I've never heard those stories. My mother's side from France, my father's side from Germany. So I was about to write a very angry email to 23andMe saying there's a bug in their software, but I thought, you know what, perhaps I should call my father. And I did. So I said, Dad, what's up with all the Scandinavian genes? Right? So what's even more interesting is that when I looked at the other data, they tell me that I drink more coffee than average, how I sleep, about my muscle composition, that I haven't grown a bald spot yet. And all this information that I think, yes, that's so me, that's me in a nutshell, that's me in a text file, right? But they also say, and Jim, we've looked at your DNA, we looked at other people who have kinda your DNA, just like Amazon, people who bought this also bought that, or Spotify, people who like this music also like this music. People with your DNA are actually highly likely to suffer from gout with a very high percentage. So that week, I spoke with my father, and he said, so yeah, I went to see my doctor earlier. I said, yeah, was it for gout? How the hell do you know these things? 23andMe. So I gave him also a package. He's also subscribed. And we can look at each other's DNA. You can actually opt in, and then you compare your files. Yeah, I'm a nerd. I don't have a life. I just have this, so bear with me. So this is very interesting, of course. But they don't give you just the raw data. They also give you actionable insights. They say, well, and people with your kind of genes who were suffering from gout and who tried this to eat less of this, who drank more of this or did this, had 80% more chance of blah, 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 right? So not just data, also actionable insights. But it gets even funnier. I get a monthly email saying, hey, Jim, you have new relatives. And there's also, I built in a Gmail filter. Fifth degree cousins, I don't want to know about. There's too many of them, especially from Germany. But fourth degree cousins, I think is interesting. And we actually go on Skype, and then we find out who our grandmother is that we have in common. Again, I don't have a life, I just have this. There's also a new phenomenon. I'm just going to mention it, not going to answer questions about it. It's called DNA dating. I sometimes get emails from female customers from 23andMe who say our genes appear to be a good match, shall we? Yeah. Some from Portugal, I have to say. Right. But what does this mean? Well, I think that we need to spot the trend. Where do you think this trend is going? What do you think to sequence your DNA, to digitize your DNA, what that will cost in a few years from now? What do you think? This is an interactive moment. What do you think? $10, $5, $20, yeah. You guys are very good at math. So it's going to approach this line. It's going to be close to zero, almost free. At Singularity University, we go places. So I went to New York the other month, and I was in a pharmacy. And as you can see, already you can buy a kit for less than $30. So good guess. This means that in a few years, by 2022, it will be cheaper to sequence your genome than it will be to flush the toilet. This is how cheap it will be. But by then, there will be a sensor in the toilet anyway that will, in real time, digitize your output and give you new input. Yeah, okay. So, do people have a choice not to? That's the question that I would like to give to the audience, because if it will become free, then most people will do it. I think your doctor will look very strangely at you in 5 years from now when you haven't done it. You want me to operate in the dark? What's going on with you? And there's even more to say. If you think a bit harder about this, it will not become free. What do you think? Mandatory? Actually, I think Steven, or a company like Aigency, will pay you to have your DNA digitized. A negative price, companies will pay you if you would opt in to share a little bit of this file with them. You're looking very disturbed right now. And that's a good sign, because that is exactly what we hope to discuss at the panel. Thank you for your attention. Thank you.